Hello everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel today. My name is Daryl and we are back on this 6-meter repeater project. Behind me, or to the side of me, is our cabinet that we worked on in the last video, but I have the shelf with me today and we're going to try to mount the radios on the shelf. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what's going on. Well, here's our shelf. It's a used shelf, and if by the way, if you haven't noticed, everything that we're putting together here is all used equipment. The cabinet's used, the power supply's used, the shelf's used, the radios are used, everything is used. So I just want to show you what you can put together from stuff you buy at a Hamfest or online, that you can put a repeater together without spending money on a brand new repeater. So this repeater is going to be analog, it's not going to be digital. So you could put this together with cheap parts. So what I need to do is I need to take the bracket for the radio and I need to mount it on this shelf here. So that's what we'll do today. And then the max track that we're using for the receive radio, I need to find a bracket, a mobile bracket for that. So I'll have to go up in the attic and see if I can find a bracket for that. And then we'll get that mounted in there. All right, I have everything moved over to my bench here. I got the shelf in my vise. And I got the bracket pretty much where it needs to go. So what I did was, if you can see down there where the heatsink is and where it starts and begins, I got about 2.5 inches to where my bracket starts. So I want this area here to be hanging out where the muffin fan goes, which there was a muffin fan in here before it was taken out. So I want to get to as close to the center part as I can, because that gives me the most fan, most air blowing on it. So I measured this 2.5 inches, so anything that hangs over would be out here somewhere. So it's about the best it's going to be. I don't really know. We'll see when I get it on there. I might have to move it back a little bit more. I don't know, but I drew a line here, if you can see it, all the way across to get it halfway straight. And then I just centered it on the shelf over here at 2 5/8 on both sides. So the next thing we've got to do is mark for our 3 holes and drill those out, and then we can get this radio mounted on here. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is just mark the holes with a marker. And we got their location. And then I'll find a punch. And let's see, I got one right here. And my hammer. And my hammer's hanging up, so get that. And we'll just kind of try to find the center of these. Give a little whack. And we'll see if this drill bit will be adequate to drill this hole. Alright, 2. And 3. Vacuum cleaner and suck it up. Now I do not have the fan yet. So what I'm thinking I kind of want to do is I'll put these through here, and then on the other side I'll cut off the extra. That's most likely what's going to happen. Once we get this mounted, I'll put the radio on here and see where it actually ends up. So like I was saying, everything on this project is looking like it's going to be all used equipment. So things that were done for other projects, those projects are nowhere or no longer running, or the repeaters are defunct. And I forgot to put the washers in the iron. Is my hole not lining up? What's going on? It's just slightly off. So we'll just take this and clean it up. There. And I'll go back and put the washers. I probably don't need any washers on here, but I'm putting them on anyway. Humor me. Let's pull these off and put the washers on. I'm almost wondering if the washers are going to make it stand too tall. Not really. Let's see. We don't want the radio rubbing on the washers, or rubbing on the bolt heads when I go to slide this thing on. Okay. And then I'll have to go up and look for a bracket for the max track so I can mount it, and it will be mounted on the other side, so I'll end up having to pull this bracket out to install that bracket. So I got to figure out where that radio goes on this shelf. This is not easy. Can't see what I'm doing. Ah, jeez. Oh, you try to hurry, it doesn't always work out. Alright. So our bracket is on here, thumb tight. Hopefully this shelf can handle this. I don't know. But we'll open this up. Let me grab my key. My key out. Sorry I'm off camera, but it's the best I can do. Alright, so then you can see that our radio will slide on here. I can't see what I'm doing. Let me go in the front here. And this doesn't look, well, it ain't the greatest. It could go back further. Yeah, I think I'm going to move it back. I don't like it. I think I'm going to move it back another inch. So let me do that, and then I'll come back. So here's what we got here. So the center of it's over here. So it's a little too far that way, but that's fine. Do I think it needs more air blowing on it? Yes. So at some point we'll get another shelf and maybe have a fan on each side. This is already done like this, so you got to take what you got. So it will get some air blowing on it. And the cabinet that we're using is not going to work for this project because we can't put the doors on it. So it's all free open to the air anyway. So we will probably put it in another cabinet. So we'll just use what we got for now and get the repeater running. I did find a bracket for this, and I've changed my mind with how I want to mount this. I think I'm going to put the Meritrack on the top part of the shelf. So I'm going to keep the bracket where it is and just flip the shelf over. Then I'm going to mount the receive radio on the bottom of the rack, or bottom of the shelf. And the reason why I want to do that is because the Meritrack is going to be the radio that's the transmit radio, and that heatsink is going to get warm, and I didn't want it to be trapped underneath the shelf and kind of holding the heat down there. So if the Meritrack is on the top of the shelf, it'll get more air circulation and get that heat dissipated off, and then the fan will just blow from the bottom up through the fins And the receive radio, this one here, doesn't need anything because it's not going to be ever be transmitting. So it's just going to be listening, and whatever heat is made by the radio, it shouldn't be that much. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So let me get this bracket mounted, and then we'll put this into the rack itself. Well, after a big long rain delay of me trying to get the shelf mounted in there, because you can't get a screwdriver on anything, you can't get your fingers down in here, so it was pretty hard. I did get it mounted in here. So we got a transmit radio, we got a receive radio, and I really hate this shelf too. So I hate the rack, I hate the shelf, but nevertheless, these two radios are mounted in there, and they're most likely going to go on a different shelf and into a different cabinet, but for just mocking everything up, it'll do for now. So the next thing is the controller. So let me go grab that. This is the controller that we're going to be using. It's the SCOM 7330 repeater controller, and it's pretty popular controller out there. They don't make this one anymore, but I'm told that SCOM is designing and hopefully bringing to market a new controller. So let's hope so, because these were always just really nice controllers, and they're not cheap, but they're really nice. Now this one has 3 ports. So 3 ports here, so you can hook 3 repeaters up and link them all together, or you can do other things with those ports. But right now our 6-meter repeater is going to be on port 1, and then if we decide to tie in the 2-meter repeater, it'd be on port 2, or maybe vice versa, I don't really know. And then when the UHF repeater gets put in at that site, it will go on port 3. So we'll be able to connect any one of 3 or all of them together. Or actually, yes, any one of 3. So 1 and 3 can be hooked together, or 2 out, or 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, whatever. They can all be linked and unlinked. So cross your fingers that happens one day, because that'd be really fun. So I'm going to mount this thing in here, and as always, I'm going to stop the camera because there's going to be a lot of cussing, and you don't want to hear that. So let me get back to you when I get this thing mounted in there. Well, I got the controller mounted in there. It wasn't quite as bad as putting that shelf in. So everything is mounted in there now. So now it is time to begin the cable, address the cabling, we'll put it that way. So we'll have to have power running to the max track. Well, actually, we have to get power to all 3 units, and then I need to order some cable for the hookup from the radios to the controller. I looked through my piles of cable, and I don't have anything that I want to use. So I will order some, and then a couple of plugs. I need to turn this thing around. I need to get some plugs or connectors for the controller, and then for the radio, and then both radios actually. So I've got to do that, and so we'll take a little break on this project for a little bit while I order that stuff up, and then we'll start wiring this thing in. I don't know how long it'll take me to get the cables, but I have some other projects I need to do. But right now, the 6-meter repeater is at this stage. So it's starting to look like something. And that's basically all we really need, except for the duplexer. So as I said, I think the duplexer is going to come this week or maybe next week. I have to go pick it up, and I'll give you a little hint. I've got to bring my trailer. Well, we got a lot done today. We got the equipment in the rack. We will kind of get an idea now what we need to do for cabling up everything, getting the radios connected to the controller, getting them connected to power. I will have to order some materials for that. I don't know how long it'll take. Probably not too long. In the meantime, I got other things I need to do. I got some woodworking to do. I got some cleanup in my shack to do, and I might give a little tour of that. I don't have a really big shack. Mine's pretty small. I don't have a lot of radios that I have on my desk at once, so I'll give you a tour of what I'm going to do down there. Now that I got the new tower up, there's a lot of possibilities. So right now, that's where we stand here with this 6-meter repeater. It'll be kind of fun to get this thing on the air. Like I said, it'll be most likely connected to Echolink, so you can go through Echolink and get on this 6-meter repeater. And if they are linked to the other repeaters, you'll be able to get on there too. But that's all I got for today. Thank you for stopping by, and we will see you next time.